guys, it's byscreenside and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a build and surprise, it's a build. I've been really in the mood to build lately. That's just where I'm at. Sometimes I'm in the mood to play, sometimes I'm in the mood to build, and I just film what it is that I'm doing. So this is another build, and this one is called, and I'm going to try not to mess it up, Birch Branch Residence. Yay, I said it right. I did. I had to like start over the voiceover because I was like, but, ah, why did I name it something so hard to say? Um, so I had a little bit of trouble. It's kind of hard to say Birch Branch Residence if you're trying to say it quickly. Um, Now I'm pulling it off, but you know, making it look like it's easier than it is, but it's kind of hard to say. Anyway, um, the reason I called it Birch Branch Residence is because I had to come up with a name for it of some kind, and I used a birch tree out in front, and birch trees are actually one of my favorite types of trees. I mean, I'm not a connoisseur of trees or anything, but they're one of my favorite kind. I love the light wood, the like sort of pale bark that the birch tree has, and that was just sort of the at least the color scheme inspiration for this house. So it's light and bright and kind of like it's a little bit on the modern side. The interior is not particularly modern, so I just kind of called it like more on the contemporary side. So there are some modern elements, there are some traditional elements, and so um, that's I just kind of feel like it's just kind of contemporary. I feel like when something just sort of lands in the middle between modern and traditional, I just think of it as being contemporary. So the inspiration behind this build was I wanted to do a house that had a chimney feature, like a strong chimney feature, and I wanted to do, um, along with that chimney feature, a like an outdoor fireplace because I really, really like outdoor fireplaces. I think that they're so hashtag goals, you know what I mean? So, like that's my reasoning behind it. These chimneys I did lower before I uploaded this to the gallery because I felt like they were just a little bit um, out of proportion with the rest of the house, like just too tall. So I made them a little bit shorter off camera before I placed it on the gallery. And this is, of course, up and ready for download. And I've been adding the hashtag by Screenside. And by lately, I mean like the past probably few months. Um, but when I first started the channel, I hadn't been adding the hashtag by Screenside to my builds. So quite a few of them will not be able to be found via hashtag on the gallery. So you would have to search for my EAID, which is by Screenside, just like the name of the channel. And, but yeah, so lately I've been adding hashtag by Screenside. So if you don't follow me on the gallery and you want to quickly locate my builds for download, um, for all of my builds, you want to look up my EAID, but for my more recent builds, I have been adding in hashtag by Screenside, so you can find them fairly easily. The birch also, I don't know if I said or not already, because I did have to start this voiceover over. I, ugh, anyway, me talking, ugh, the worst. Yeah, like the color scheme is also kind of birchy, like it just sort of tan, white, brownish color. One little issue that I didn't seem to be able to fix, and I admit it when there are issues. The game did not want to recognize the actual front door, which is on the second floor of the build, as the front door. It wanted to, I guess because the other door, which is the back door, the entrance to the back patio area, it wanted to recognize that as the front door, and it wouldn't give me the option to set the actual front door as the front door. So that's a a little bit of a thing, but I mean, it's something that I could live with, but if you can't live with it, then be advised. So yeah, the second, like the living room and the kitchen, like the living area, the main area is on the second floor, which I like because I think it gives a little bit nicer views from the areas where your Sims would probably be spending a lot of their time. However, in this case, I put it across, like on the lot that's across from the Goth House, the Hallow Slough lot. I guess I don't know if it's how that's pronounced actually. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna check myself. Second. Okay, according to the internet, it's slough or slew, and either either way, I mispronounced it. So you know, I did that. Um, so it's slew or slough. That's just an odd name for a house or like a lot, in my opinion. Either way, but yeah, that's the lot I built it on, and it's across from the Goth House. And the Goth House, how to put it nicely or as nicely as possible, it's not a very sightly view. I don't particularly care for the Goth House. Ugh, yeah, not a fan. So this is it can be placed, anywhere. Like really, probably would look really great in Windenburg, on maybe like on the island with the actually really beautiful views. But if you like the Goth House, and you want that to be your main view, you can place this lot there, or you can replace the Goth lot, or however you want to do it. Uh, but yeah, I like it when the main floor is on the second floor of a house, and I don't do that very often, and I might see a little bit more of that because I like it personally. So of course we're just putting down some landscaping. I did like an eensy bit of a water feature out front, which you'll see here in a moment. Just some, really basic and I don't know, non-confrontational landscaping. Uh, I don't know why. What landscaping would be confrontational? Like, can you imagine, like, you're just walking by and it's like, hey, no, that was stupid. Why did I say that? Anyway, moving on. Yep, there's the birch tree. I scooch it out just a little bit. I placed it. I wanted to make sure, like, it was the trees frame the house nicely. When I do landscaping, trees are actually, if you're a builder and you want, like, my tips or opinion on something, trees are a really nice way to kind of frame the house and make it look a little bit, it like amps up the curb appeal if you place them right. And it kind of they can also kind of make a nice visual separation between the front of a lot and the back of a lot. So when in doubt, add more trees, and it may, I don't know, it just they break up the I just bumped the mic, sorry if you heard that. They just sort of break up the front of the house and add, some more elements, and make things look more natural and realistic. And I'm very pro adding trees to your landscaping. Of course, if you're doing a budget build, there's something that usually has to, you know, uh, go on the back burner, or something that you might have to sacrifice. But this is, as usual, a little bit on the pricey side for the size of the house it is. That's just, my builds are a little bit more expensive because I use a lot of clutter and detail in them, and it makes it look really nice, and it makes it look more realistic, but it does drive up the price. So you know it's a trade-off. I was kind of gonna like put the towel rack on the sink there, but it didn't want to go, didn't want to work, and I could have done it, but I just wound up not like I could have made it work if I'd have moved all the counters and everything, but I just didn't wind up doing it. Um, yeah, so that's the first floor bathroom. It's just a, you know, toilet and sink. It doesn't have any like washrooms, but there are two bathrooms on the first floor of the house, and those both have, showers, and or one has a tub and one has a shower. So, obviously your Sims have to have a place to get take a shower, or take a bath or something. But yeah, so that's in there. And what you see of the exterior, or the exterior textures that are currently on the house. In fact, right now I changed a lot of the interior textures from what you're seeing. I didn't cut out much of this build. I just cut it down to where at least the build footage itself. Of course, when I add screenshots and a couple other elements to the build, or the video, it'll be a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but the actual build part itself is 30 minutes. So I didn't cut out a lot of the, working out of the house. So if you want, I if it's a really really long video, then I will cut a lot of the stuff that doesn't wind up in the eventual build. But if, it's going to be not too terribly long, then I'll go ahead and leave it in. So you can see that, I don't just put everything together without any, you know, like the work that goes into it. Because I don't want to give off the impression that it's just like I put everything out in the first try and everything works out and I don't have to test things. Believe me, it's a process, and I don't nail everything on the first try. So, there's definitely a process that goes into it. I liked this clock from the bowling stuff pack, and I had only used it once before. And so the entire color scheme of the living room is based on matching that clock. And I'm gonna change the floorboard. And looking back, I kind of wish I'd left that floor as is, just because it looks more like actual birch wood. But I do change it to a darker hardwood floor here shortly, just to make everything match a little bit better. It's a little bit more difficult to match that floor, in my opinion, than some of the others. So, one thing that can help keep a build cohesive is by trying to make all the woods match. I guess this is my little tips thrown in video. But yeah, if the wood colors, like that's something that I try to keep fairly consistent throughout any build that I do, is, the paneling on the wall should match the wood flooring and the doors and the door frames. As much as possible, I try to keep those all the same shade, or like the frames around the wall decor and everything. So that is because I recently had a comment asking, like, how do you keep things all in one theme, or keep a consistent theme throughout a house. And I don't really feel like you have to keep every room in the exact same style. I think that you can, mix it up when one area is closed off from another. But one way to help keep things looking consistent, or like they go together, and this is just my personal opinion, everybody's different, but that is my sort of way of keeping things thematically consistent, is by trying to just make sure the wood paneling matches the floor, the doors match the floor, the uh, words escaping me, wood paneling, oh, frames, things like that. Just, I try and make it look like they all go together. Yeah, like so I just try and keep the wood colors together. I wound up, this is a little bit on the lighter side than the eventual kitchen, but the piece of wall art that you saw, like the long, thin piece of art that I believe came with Dine Out, that is it matches the color scheme that the kitchen eventually winds up. The kitchen probably took me the longest amount of time, just because I spent the table was what was throwing me off. I wanted to use a table. I'm scratching. Sometimes the microphone picks that up when I scratch. If you hear a noise, that's what that is. But um, the yeah, I wanted to keep it like a table instead of a bar area, just because it's a family house, and I couldn't make up my mind. I think that was the thing I spent the longest trying to do is place the table. I think I might have cut out some of that though. So yeah, I went with this green and brown color scheme for the kitchen, and I changed this linoleum back to the wood because initially I had wanted to use some of the lighter counters, so I put down a lighter floor, but I the wood works with this particular counter color swatch better than the linoleum, I think. One another interesting design tip that I don't always necessarily follow, but I read once, is that your colors in a room should go from dark to light from the floor to the ceiling, because it when you're outdoors, the ground is dark and the sky is bright. So you should go dark colors to light colors rather than the other way around. Like so. Now, in not in The Sims, but in actual, the real world, you can have darker colored ceilings, which I don't think this is always necessarily like 100% always the case. Like this particular tip is always true, but I do think it's interesting that yeah, like your brighter colors should be up high in the room, and your darker colors should be down low in the room. So you want your floorboards to not be a lighter color than like maybe your crown molding or your ceiling or whatever. I don't know. It's not, like I said, it's not necessarily something I always follow, but it is an interesting design tip in my, like, it's just interesting to think about that, our tendency is to want to things to sort of mimic what we see outside in the natural world. So, yeah, food for thought anyway. Yeah, so I stuck a little computer area back here in the corner, a little bit of box and book clutter around it. Again, uh, clutter's what I do. Um, so yeah, on the main floor or first floor, I don't know. On this floor, I have a oh yeah. So you know what? I was watching the Sim Supply, James from the Sim Supply, and he was doing the 10-minute build challenge this week, and he solved like a building mystery for me. I never understood why like floor trim wouldn't necessarily always like go on the side of the house, and he pointed out that it's because like floor trim will not go next to the stairs. So I had to design around that. But I'm really glad he pointed that out because I never figured out what it was that was causing that issue, and now I know. He's a master. So I didn't say that sarcastically. It kind of sounded like I meant it sarcastically, but I did not mean it sarcastically at all. He's awesome. But yeah, that's why that is. If you didn't happen to catch his 10-minute build challenge, the floor trim just won't go up next to stairs, which is super annoying, and I don't understand why that is, but that is. But anyway, yeah, the first floor has 3 bedrooms. This is the master bedroom that I'm working on. Like I mentioned in my Legacy House build, if you watched that, I tend to keep the master bedroom really simple because I see, like, the adults, the grown-ups bedroom as being, the least, having the least personality of any room in the build. Versus because kids, the kids' rooms you can use like so much in terms of toys, and there's so much cool kid stuff in the game at this point with Parenthood and the kids stuff pack and everything, that the kids' rooms just have so much more personality than the grown-ups rooms. I'd like to see just some more general bedroom content. So much of the content that we have, like beds, especially because the bed is sort of what we just don't have that great of a bed selection, so I kind of have to design around the bed, and usually the color scheme of the room comes from the bed. There are a couple of beds that we have that are like white or black and basic, but a lot of times I will pick a bed and then design around it. So, a lot of the more, grown up, I say that in quotes, like, uh, you know, like larger double beds don't have, they either have too much personality or not enough or something. Um, by the way, just want to say the desk chair that I've been having problems with in the game, they fixed in the patch. Yay! So glad that somebody noticed that the Sims would not sit in that chair because that was driving me crazy. Because I love that desk chair, and my Sims just would not sit in it. But it's fixed now. Hooray! Um, Yay. But yeah, so the master bedroom, not as much personality. We need more beds. I want a bedroom focused stuff pack now. And we're getting Get Fit here in a couple of days. Of course, today is Father's Day. If you happen to be a father watching this, happy Father's Day to you. I hope you're having a lovely day, or maybe a lovely day with your own dad. Um, my dad's awesome. I'm a big fan, so I'll be spending some time with him for Father's Day soon. Uh, but yeah, so this is like the kids' bedroom, and it has a red, white, and blue theme, which, America, but also a lot of other countries. So, yeah, but I picked that theme because I don't think I think it's a little bit more like gender neutral, and also because, again, the bed, I used the bed to decide on the rest of the color scheme for the rest of the room, and I think this turned out really cute. I put a lot of toys, and I love that little giraffe guy, and lots of stuff, as you'll see as this room comes together. This is probably my favorite room in the build. It's just bright and cute, and it has a nice little view. Better than the master bedroom, honestly. But the master bedroom gets the ensuite, and the section, the way that the house was shaped, the ensuite fit best in the corner where I put the master bedroom. There is a little bit of a window in there, but it is the very thin horizontal window from the spa day pack, and I did because I wanted there to be a window there, but I didn't want it to be too in your face because of the way that side of the house was designed on the exterior. So I used that little thin window. So there is actually a window in that room, but it's not very. Or was it? Is it in the bathroom? My bad. It's in the bathroom. So there isn't a window in that room. There's a window in that bathroom. And I also, the bathroom, the master, it's not like my favorite bathroom that I've ever done, but I really wanted to use that, like one of those other shower curtain styles that we got with the shower from the Parenthood game pack. You can see it over there, sort of in the upper right hand corner of the screen. I wanted to use like one of the floral patterns or one of the interesting patterns, just to use it, just I don't know, just to say I did. But if you aren't super into that, like bright funky pattern, You can easily switch that swatch over, and the room itself should still be fairly neutral to where you can like switch it to some other color palettes. This is a I see this as being like a teen bedroom, and so again, just a lot of clutter, kind of a little bit like the bedroom that I did in the Legacy house, or one of the bedrooms that I did in the Legacy house, but I didn't use this bed. And again, in all three rooms, the beds are where I worked from, like in terms of the color scheme that I picked. So that's another sort of like how I keep builds consistent in terms of themes is, I just work from one item. Sometimes it's the bed, sometimes it's maybe like a piece of wall decor, or just anything in the room. But I will pick, one sort of item and then make everything sort of match that within reason. But it's helpful to know like what colors complement each other. But I don't know. I think a case could be made that in the right under the right circumstances, any colors can complement each other. It just depends on like how you use them. I wanted her to have a diary, uh, so I used the little diary item. And then when I went to play test the house, I couldn't find the diaries, and I couldn't figure out why. And my playtesting sim had gone and put them away. So it's possible that if you download this from the gallery, you might have diaries that are stashed away in bookshelves, and diaries that are placed on the desks. So I didn't let my sim clean them up again. She'd cleaned them up when I wasn't looking. That silly sim. Anyway, I put an easel and just like a little, you know, uh, end table desk. What is the word for that? Uh, I can't think of it. Anyway, there's a little like table off to the side with just a little bit of it just sort of like has some built-in decor. And moving to the backyard now, the backyard has a pool and a grill, another birch tree out back, just some basic landscaping, nothing too outrageous. The whole build altogether is, I believe, about 111,000 simoleons. Uh, Again, it could be cheaper, but it's all the clutter and all the detail that I put into things that make them so expensive. So I apologize that I don't do a lot of like starter houses, or like low budget houses, but it's just sort of either it's a trade-off, like a good price or lots of detail, and I choose to go lots of detail. And I ran a Twitter poll my on my Twitter, um, obviously, uh, not that long ago, and I asked like what type of house people would like to see next, and I still have to build the houses that people ultimately voted for, which is actually something that I'm going to be working on this weekend. But Starter House didn't actually get a lot of votes, so I don't feel that bad about not making that many starter houses. Um, but yeah, I do. There was a couple of other builds that I do need to do. So I want to kind of like challenge and push myself to work on those types of builds. If you don't know what I'm referring to, then I guess you'll just have to go follow me on Twitter. I'm just saying. No, just kidding. Well, I mean, not kidding, but you know what I mean. Um, Silly plug. I put a little grill out on the porch area there, and the pool is pretty petite and has like a little bit of a flower shape when I work it all out. I don't know if I showed that all. I think I cut it for time, but of course, like I said before, this build is on the gallery, and I have a screenshot of the final backyard here coming up in the screenshots, which will be coming up in just a moment. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your commenting and liking and subscribing, and I let me know, what kind of builds or things that you want to see in the future, and you know, just how your day is going in general. Whatever you want to comment, it's cool with me. I enjoy it. I enjoy my comments. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.